Hello everyone, I'm Nathan and I want to talk about the history and the timeline of cars. So let's get on with it. So, Jan 29, 1886, the inventor named Carl Benz patents the world's first automobile. So, this is not exactly a car. The first car is the Model T Ford, which we'll come to later. But this is a you can call it a three-wheeled buggy, and it is motorized, and this is like the steering wheel which moves this front wheel over here, and I don't know what this is. It's probably a gear or something. There are still a few of these, but they're not exactly street legal, but they're there on display, and a few of them actually work. Like if you see some YouTube videos, there are some which actually work. Okay, so he there's like a this was like a very big thing during that time, and you would and so you would actually if you are wondering who's Carl Benz, he is the founder of Mercedes Benz. So I'll read the article. German mechanical engineer Karl Benz kicks off a transportation revolution when he applies for a patent for a vehicle powered by gas engine, or what Mercedes Benz now calls the birth certificate of the automobile. By July 1886, the newspapers report public road sightings of the Benz patent motor wagon. The three-wheeled vehicle's engine has just one cylinder, less than 1 horsepower, and 10 mile per hour speed, top speed. So that's pretty slow. If you're calling what is right now the automobiles, what is right now automobiles, that's pretty slow compared to that. Like some of us can even run faster than that. Okay, so let's go for Porsche. These are good. Porsche is a good company. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't like their headlights. So, nearly a century before the Toyota Prius, Ferdinand Porsche debuts Austria's Lohner Porsche, a radical hybrid car. So, this is like basically the first hybrid car that generates electricity from two small gasoline engines to power its front wheel. Like in the patent motor wagon you saw, it was only one cylinder. We upgraded to engines now to power its front wheels. The buyers of the pricey model, which cost $2,900 to $6,840, or $91,000 to 216 uh, $216,000 in inflation adjusted dollars, include Emil Jelinek, whose daughter Mercedes became the namesake of Mercedes Benz. So Benz is car Benz, and then Emil Jelinek daughters is most probably Mercedes. I really don't know. So now we're going to the 1900s. November 10, 1903. Women invents a windshield wiper. Industry ignores her. Everybody ignores that the fact that we need this during that time. So her name is Mary Anderson. Let's read the article. Mary Anderson receives a patent for the first windshield wiper, a handle operated rubber bladed system to remove snow, rain, or sleet from the window of modern electric motor cars. Yes, electric cars were a thing in 1903. The Alabama native was inspired on a trip to New York, observing how streetcar drivers had to open windows to see ahead in the poor weather. Not one automaker took interest in this woman's game changing invention. But by 1922, Cadillac's a car company, it's a really nice car company, had made windshield wipers standard on its cars. December 1906, newcomer Rolls Royce introduces the best car in the world. It's so called best car in the world. It's a Rolls Royce is a very expensive company so far. Oops, sorry. So Rolls Royce shows its 450, a 4050 prototype for its iconic silver ghost. It's among history's most famously durable, luxurious, and well engineered cars, and the polar opposite of Henry Ford's mass market approach. The company handles fewer than 8,000 copies of the Silver Ghost from 1907 to 1926, with the chassis alone minus a custom body costing $11,750, about $370,000 in today's American dollars. 1912, Cadillac makes the engine crank obsolete. Cadillac introduces the first electric starter on its touring edition, created by Charles Boss Kettering, a famous inventor and an engineer. The starter eliminates the need for drivers to hand crank cars to life, a process that led to broken arms and other injuries due to electric kickback. What why so in cars, how do you sometimes you press the engine start push button, or you twist the key. In those days you have to, like, literally you have to pump it, like how in some bikes you have to put your leg down and start pumping that chain. Like that you have to do it with your hands like this, and that makes the car start, but that led to so many broken hands. And you have to, like, kicks you don't have to kick start it really badly and injure your hand using dislocation elbow and stuff like that. So this is technically the first car. Like, we're talking here about the Model T so far. Henry Ford's assembly line starts rolling, brings car ownership to the masses. So basically, this is like a lot of people want to buy this Model T Ford, and a lot of people are owning the cars now. A lot of people are owning cars so far. Determined to build a motor car for the great multitude, pioneering American car maker Henry Ford implements the first moving automotive assembly line for his Model T, soon trimming its production time from 12.5 hours to 93 minutes. Bored by the rote assembly line tasks, workers quit en masse. I think that most probably means in masses. Ford institutes the $5 a day, 40-hour work week in response to a sparkling mass migration of job seekers to Ford Gates in Detroit, Michigan, uh, between 1908 and 1927. Ford builds 15 million Model Ts, changing the very fabric of industry and agricultural America. So that's a lot of cars so far. We've read this article. It's a really interesting article. 1915, African American car company sets up shop. C.R. Patterson and the Sons of Greenfield, Ohio, becomes history's first and only African American owned car company, joining hundreds of scrappy startups as horse-drawn vehicles give way to combustion engine automobiles. As after founder C.R. Patterson, born into slavery in 1833, builds a successful carriage making firm after the Civil War. His son Frederick evolves the business to go horseless, while the company hand builds only few dozen bespoke uh, Patterson Greenfield cars. between 1915 and 1980. It goes on to be a successfully fabricate bodies for buses and commercial vehicles um, uh, until the Depression, the Great Depression. You can read about it on Wikipedia. It's a nice article. I've read about it. 1934, Chrysler Afro streamlines auto design. Innovation is great, but it also requires timing. Chrysler arrives prematurely with its streamlined Afro models, whose teardrop shape and forward set cabin are inspired by aircraft and the first automotive wind tunnel testing. The mold breaking airflows prove an epic sales flop with production cancelled after 1937, but other automakers quickly adopt many of its innovations, including all steel bodies. The Citroën Traction Avant, from gangsters to the Gestapo. The Traction Avant, the brainchild of French engineer and industrialist André Gustave Citroën, is credited to be the world's first mass-produced front-wheel drive car, styled by sculptor Flaminio Bertoni. Italian names are hard to pronounce. The sleek, lightweight, and unibody Citroen also pioneers independent suspension and hydraulic brakes for in production for more than 20 years. It becomes an inseparable part of French identity, driven by infamous gangster Pierre Lefort. Pierre Lefort Lutre. I thought that was one name, but it's his nickname. Um, and other unsavory yet colorful characters, as well as menacing Gestapo officers during the World War II. Now, this is a car you may know about, the next one. May 1938. Hitler launches the Volkswagen Beetle. Look at the car, it looks nice. Inspired by Model T inventor Henry Ford, Adolf Hitler conceives an affordable people's car for the masses. He enlists caremaker Ferdinand Porsche, whose design consultants include Austrian Erwin Komenda and Hungarian Bela Barényi. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing the names wrong. The latter drew the Beatles' iconic bubble design in 1925. Hitler lays the foundation stone for the Beetle factory. The Beatles' iconic bubble design 1925. Hitler lays the foundation uh, for the Beetle factory in Wolfsburg in Germany in May 1938, but only 600 cars are built before the factory switches to wartime production. Despite any lingering Nazi associations, post-war America falls hard for the resus- resuscitated resuscitated Beetle, with a boost from the ingenious advertising. By the late 1950s, the Beetle had a smash hit around the world. The 60s brings us the Beatles its lasting flower power, the association that defies the car's faces truths. All VW builds, uh, all told, VW builds 23 million Beetles, more than any nameplate in history before production ends in 1999. So I'm gonna skip a few because we have less time. So you can. So this is like the world's first Jeep by Willis Overland in 1940. I can, if you ask me, I can send you the link to this in the description. May 11, 1947, about the first red car, because Ferraris were mostly in red. 1948. From the ashes to the World War II comes the tail fin. I'll read this one. Rises Hurley Earl, the larger than life father of modern auto styling, takes his team from a chicken air base to see the P 38 Lightning fighter before the World War II. The trip percolates with designer Frank Hershey, who begins sketching and modeling Fendier rear fenders, reminiscent of the aircraft and undersea creatures. The 1948 Cadillac is purely decorative of Tail's fin spark, a car design phenomenon. America's fin flourishes reach near ridiculous proportions by the late 1950s. So this was like a news report. If you don't know, the Mercedes 300 SL is like a really fast car, and this is like the most horrifying F1 races to have ever been raced so far. I could say that for any race also. So August 13, 1959, Volvo offers drivers their first chance to buckle up. Niels Bohlin, an ex-aviation engineer who worked on flight ejection seats, develops a V-shaped point 3 front seat belt for Volvo. The automaker's first customer is a Swedish buyer of a PV544 sedan, yet the groundbreaking safety device takes years to gain widespread use, and the US does not mandate seatbelts until 1968. Like there were no seatbelts, I think, because there were no seatbelts. The racing thing, Leveg would have actually survived, and although the 83 spectators were killed. Okay, so I'm gonna skip past the mini revolution because most of you can read that. Then we all know about the Porsche 911 introduced at Frankfurt Motor Show. Then you know the Mustang, everybody loves the Mustang. I'm talking about the cars you don't know. So this is like the world's first traffic rules so far about the cars for world's first traffic rules. Then Florida man pioneers airbags. So this is like the if there were airbags and seatbelts during the 300X SL crash, that would have like saved so many people. Like he could have saved himself. But although airbags can kill people also. So you want to read about this, even I do. So we're going to go to it. So this is the Apollo 15 lunar rover. There's like two seats here. Like I was going to ask you guys, why do they need that? Two seats because they're in space. Then I realized there were people on the Apollo 15 uh, in Apollo 15 mission. Three lunar roving vehicles remain on the moon, left behind after successfully navigating the dusty surface on Apollo 15, 16, and 17 missions. Built by Boeing, the foldable lightweight, battery powered rover, a dune buggy like vehicle that reached a maximum speed of 11.2 miles per hour on its final mission, extends the range of astronauts in their bulky spacesuits. Four flight ready LRVs were built at a cost of $38 million. One second, sorry. Then McLaren creates their was first carbon fiber race car. Then there's the Toyota Prius, which becomes the fuel super supreme. Then Bugatti Veyron, reviving a once glorious but moribund, I don't know what moribund is, brand. The Volkswagen Group's Bugatti Veyron 16.4 shocks the world with its 987 horsepower, 4 turbo 16 cylinder engines, the 1.9 million earthbound missile is the first car with 1000 European PS or 987 horsepower and reaches an improbable 249 mile per hour top speed. Then we have the robotic Prius. Like this is, you could say, the grandfather of the self-driving Tesla. It is you can deliver pizza on it. Then we have the world's first Tesla. Elon Musk's first car is the Tesla Roadster, based on a Lotus Elise chassis, the heavily re-engineered to run on electricity. But the Model S sedan is a world changer, with its slinky shape, the moonshot acceleration, and revolutionary tech. Musk's upstart has global automakers staring up product plans, realizing that electric cars are the future, not a fad. Then we have November 15, 2020. Lewis Hamilton takes record seventh Formula One title. The brilliant Lewis Hamilton equals Michael Schumacher with his record seventh Formula One championship, driving his Mercedes AMG to his 94th lifetime when on a wet, treacherous track at the Turkish Grand Prix. The F1's only black driver marks his historic season with high profile Black Lives Matters activism, including convincing Mercedes to paint its cars black rather than its traditional silver. Hence, they had a black series. Mercedes has a black series. So, I'm going to talk about this is it for here. We've come almost up to date. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.